What's going on, YouTube? Added a did a couple things to the boat, a few little minor upgrades, and figured I'd do a quick video just showing you guys what I did. I know I said in my first video about the new straps that I bought to put on here. So if you guys are trying to wondering what straps is going to work on here, it gives you just enough room here for them to work. Once you pull that up, and just retractable, so as you can see here, there's just enough room for the clearance there for that to work. It works pretty good. So I'll show you the other side real quick. And this is the same. This one touches just barely. But it's not enough to cause any issues or problems there. This is not like how the Heritage was, where you could slide the lights over. I live down a dirt road, so the boat's going to stay a little dirty. But you can't, like I know on the Heritage you could loosen those bolts up, slide the slide over some, and it give you a little bit more room. Well, on this one you can't do that. So I picked these straps up from Academy about a week ago. They had them on sale. I think I paid 40 bucks for them. It's not a bad deal. Like I said, and it seems like it's going to work good on this boat. Gives me just enough room. If you guys are going to buy the bigger straps that have the bigger housing on them, they're wider, it's not going to work unless you buy some kind of adapter or bracket that's going to extend it out some away from that. But that is that on those. Another thing I mentioned in my first video I did is I bought the Mercury Vessel View. And some of you guys probably know what this is, some may not. But what it is device you hook up to your motor, and you download an app on your smartphone, and it gives you detailed information. It gives you how many more hours you have till you need to do your maintenance. You can go in there and have a maintenance log of everything you've done, but it has a lifespan on that. It also give you temperatures and stuff, which is it's a lot of helpful information that you get with this thing. One of the main reasons that I bought it too was so I could keep up with how many hours was on the motor, so I'll know when to do my service. And I'll show you guys real quick where I put it at. This piece here is plastic, so I mounted to that. The only thing I was worried about is if this gets kind of hot here. I'm not sure how hot, but I think it'll be okay because, like I said, this piece here is plastic. But I just put a couple straps. I was going to put it here, but it sticks out here, so it wasn't going to fit very well. Plus I had to have clearance for the cover there. So you can see there the way I have it, it's just enough clearance for that cover to slide over. I put it right here. I put a loop in it to keep it from down here, from that moving parts down there. So just made a loop here, and this line here was already going up, so I just put a little tie strap there and put just enough pressure to hold that there in place. And here it comes around here, and it winds off, and it goes to this piece here up front. This yellow part here, and I put a little tie strap right there just to hold it. There's nothing right there in that location, so it should be safe there. I got it just tucked in right there. But the yellow cap, that's going to go, if I can zoom out a little bit maybe, back up some. Right here is where that yellow cap was at. So you pull that yellow piece out right there from here, and you're going to stick it in the end there, and your main harness is going to go into that connector there. And this is what worked for me to keep it up where I feel like it's going to be a safe spot. I'm going to check it again after I've only got to take the boat out once. I was going to take it out this past weekend, but with the way I'm working and with the weather and all, weather didn't allow it. So this weekend, hopefully for sure, if all goes as planned, I will. So I'm gonna try to get some footage of out on the water for you guys. I'll try my best anyway. So that's the Mercury Vessel View. To me, it's a must-have, in my opinion. Plus, you have any errors or anything that's going wrong with the motor, it's supposed to give you a code, give you information so you'll know what the deal is. It also, I thought, was pretty neat. It has where you can put in where you're going to have the boat when you take it to have it serviced at. You can put in that location, and you can share your codes with that location. So, like say, if you buy it from whatever Bass Pro Shops or wherever you may buy it from, you can put that in there and you can share your codes with that. So if there's something that is wrong with it, it'll send that information straight to them. I believe you can take a snapshot too and upload it onto there, and it'll send that information to them also. So there's a lot of things that I'm not aware of yet that this thing will do, but it's a lot of, pretty much anything you want to know about the motor, it's going to tell you that. So pretty neat thing to have. I had a guy comment, can't remember who the username was, but I want to show, get this cap off real quick and I'll show you guys. I had someone asked about what I did to this gas cap. See, before, if I wouldn't have done this extra gas can I have in here, since it's not hooked up, this thing would just be sitting here as it built up pressure. It would be spitting gas out, which is not good, and it's a problem that obviously nobody wants to have. But what I did is down there in this centerpiece here, inside this cap, there was a red plug in there, or flapper valve, and it was closed off like this. So whenever the pressure would build up inside that tank, it would open up, because way down the bottom part, as the pressure built up, it would cause that flapper valve to open, and it would suck air in, and that would push it right out. So, you know, if you have it hooked up, obviously it's not a problem. But if you want another tank, like I'd want, it was a problem. So took a pair of needle nose pliers, and I put it in over that red plug there, flapper valve, whatever you want to call it, and push it in as far as I could with needle nose pliers and squeeze it, and it pulled right out. It's just a rubber plug. Didn't damage anything, it didn't do nothing. So now when it builds up pressure, it's going to vent out as a normal gas can is supposed to work. Instead of keeping the fumes in, you know, they don't want them, this harmful vapors out in the, you know, harming anything, which I think is a bunch of bullshit, but that's my opinion on it. So that's that. Another thing I did was I put a 4-way plug. I got rid of the 7-way connector and wired on a 4-way plug. One of the reasons was because my 7-way connector, there was a problem. My running lights weren't coming on, and of course it was not a problem with the wiring on the boat, it was a problem on my end. So it was an adapter that I'd put on there. So instead of figuring that out, I just removed that off of my vehicle and just using my 4-way that I have wired up, my standard one. And my dad will also be using this boat some, and he has a 4-way on his truck, so I just went ahead and did that. So if he wants to use it, he can use his own vehicle to tow it, and it won't be a problem. But I just bought some of that heat shrink tubing and got it sealed pretty good, so keep the moisture and stuff out of there. I think that's about it. I just wanted to show you guys the location where I put the Mercury Vessel View at. Show you the buckles I put on here, the transom straps, whatever they're called, and show you what I did to the gas cap there. So that way I keep you guys from having the same problem I have, or if you were to disconnect your single tank and go put it in your vehicle, it's going to spit gas out, just so you know. Unless you go, I'm sure some of you guys will probably just use a spare gas can and go take it, fill it up, come back and top it off here. But whatever works for you guys is, you know, great. I'm just trying to give you guys a heads up on what to expect, so you don't have the same problem I have. And another thing too, the depth finder, or the transducer, excuse me, they had this thing, when we first took it out, I didn't really check it or nothing because I didn't have a lot of time, but they had this thing so high up to where it wasn't getting a reading. And when I looked at when I got home and looking at it the other day, it was so high up to where when the boat got moving, it wasn't even in the water. So no wonder why we couldn't get a reading until we would slow down. So I lowered it down to where the bottom of the boat is about halfway. So I'm going to try that and see why it works. But another thing, there's a ridge underneath the boat right there. So I'm not sure if that's going to cause me any issues or problems. So I may have to move it over to the left a little bit to get off that ridge or whatever it is that's underneath the bottom of the boat. It's a bad location and placement where they put that at for sure, but I'll get it right and get it figured out. So anyway, I appreciate all you guys' comments and support and questions you guys have had and feedback. Continue to do that. If you guys have any questions, anything you want me to kind of go over, if there's anything that you want to see or know about, I'll do my best to try to answer those questions for you. All right, well, thanks you guys, and y'all have a good one.